moment responding to a call of a person, holding on a camera and not a villain lurking. Still they just took him down, didn't even give him time, even after being told photography is not a crime. You don't need subliminal, excessive force ain't optional. This is not a cop show where everyone's a criminal. Do your job the way it is supposed to be of service. Now you think abusing on the public is your purpose. You are just a sick joke, all corrupt and hopeless. If you aren't good for us, then why we paying taxes? If you aren't gonna do it right, better step down. Everything you seem to do is nothing but a letdown. I suggest you disappear before you making things worse. You are not a blessing but a version of a bad curse. You're about to find out what we call destruction, ending on the wrong end of BK corruption.
Hello everyone, welcome back. It seems that we have an unexpected video for you all. We cannot go into great length regarding the background of this incident as we plan to use this video as evidence in court. But we will cover everything at the back end of the video.
One of our good friends was assaulted, kidnapped and imprisoned for the night. From who, you ask? The one and only Nottinghamshire police.
They released him in the morning with a charge and bail sheet. The charge is: on the April 23, 21, at Nottingham City Centre in a public place, namely Milton Street, were guilty, while drunk, of disorderly behaviour. He is summoned to attend court on May 13, 2021 at 11 a.m., Room 1.
We find it very strange that the police want this case to go to court, especially on something as small as drunk and disorderly. It's clear the police want to make an example of this man, but at the expense of the taxpayers.
Their wishes are command. So, let's do it, before we even decide if this man is guilty or not. We need to gather evidence. So, the first steps we take are as follows.
We requested all evidence relating to this incident. We did this through the Subject Access Request as part of the Data Protection Act 2018. This was submitted to Nottinghamshire Police April 25, 2021. From the report we have requested everything and stated the following. I am requesting all information for the above dates. Everything from the police arriving at KFC to you arresting me and letting me go. I would like all recordings, all conversations. I mean everything. I would also like all CCTV of my phone. I believe police officers have gone on my phone and I would like every second of your CCTV to prove they haven't, including all CCTV in the van and everything else.
We explained this information is needed as soon as possible for court. They have confirmed our request, so we will expect this no later than the 10th.
We still have requests outstanding from March 1, 21, so it's very unlikely this request will be fulfilled. The police say they are too busy, but what they mean is they are too busy kicking Alex Belfield's back doors in, and fingering his arsehole, all allegedly of course. Next step, we emailed Nottinghamshire Police and asked for them to provide all evidence that they wish to rely on in the court case dated May 13, 21. Sharon Payar 3694 confirmed that CPS will provide us with all evidence in plenty of time for the hearing.
Finally, we requested all CCTV from KFC. Surprisingly, they have ignored all our requests. We have sent them a 7-day notice and then this will be passed to ICO.
Now let's look at this charge the police want to give this man.
Drunk and disorderly, CJA 1967 S91, 1.
Drunk and disorderly is a well-known offense and one of the more common ones to come before the magistrates' courts. It is not complicated. In essence, to be found guilty, you must be drunk, in a public place, and acting in a disorderly manner.
Anyone who knows anything about businesses would class KFC as a private place that is open to paying customers only. However, this is incorrect in accordance to the law.
The law allegedly states that a public place has no special legal meaning. It simply refers to any place where the public have access, whether a fee is required or not.
Fines are capped at £1,000 and range from 50% to 700% of your weekly income.
Let's now look at our human rights. Article 6, Right to a fair trial.
You have the right to a fair and public trial or hearing if you are charged with a criminal offense and have to go to court.
You have the right to a fair and public hearing that is held within a reasonable time, is heard by an independent and impartial decision-maker, gives you all the relevant information, is open to the public, although the press and public can be excluded for highly sensitive cases, allows you representation and an interpreter where appropriate, and is followed by a public decision. You also have the right to an explanation of how the court or decision-making authority reached its decision.
You have the right to be presumed innocent until you are proven guilty. Be told as early as possible what you are accused of. Remain silent. Have enough time to prepare your case. Legal aid, funding, for a lawyer if you cannot afford one and this is needed for justice to be served. Attend your trial. Access all the relevant information. Put forward your side of the case at trial. Question the main witness against you and call other witnesses, and have an interpreter, if you need one.
Breach of this man's human rights are as follows.
You are not allowed a free-duty solicitor for the allegation of drunk and disorderly. The government is therefore breaching this man's right to a fair trial.
The police charged this man on the April 24, 21, for summons to court on the May 13, 21, which is 17 days. The police are breaching this man's right to a fair trial by not giving him enough time to prepare his case.
As of May 5, 21, this man has not been provided with any evidence the police wish to rely on for this case. The police are breaching this man's right to a fair trial by not giving him enough time to prepare his case. They are also not giving him access to all the relevant information.
The police have summoned this man to court within 17 days of the alleged crime. The subject access request under the Data Protection Act 2018 states that the police have at least 30 days to provide this evidence. This evidence won't be provided until after the summons date, which also breaches this man's rights to a fair trial.
You might be reading this and thinking, this man only has to give a plea on this day and if he pleads not guilty, they will set a trial date. We do not believe this is the case, but we will keep you updated.
How can this man make a plea when he doesn't have all the information to make his plea?
Usually, the police just ambush you on the day and provide you with the evidence 15 minutes before the case goes into court.
You basically get blackmailed in court. They say you can plead guilty and get a reduced penalty, or you plead not guilty and get a harder penalty. You cannot make this decision in a short amount of time and without the evidence.
So, with all this information and the fact that we know roughly how the courts and police work, we need to make a decision.
The courts are going to want this case out of court as soon as possible. We currently have no evidence from the government to support if this man is guilty or innocent. Going into the court with no evidence and pleading not guilty will not be a good decision, especially when police officers will be happy to lie on their statements. We also don't want to waste taxpayers' money any more than we have to.
We currently have a secret weapon which we didn't want to disclose to the courts. We didn't want to disclose this because we wanted to see what lies the police officers would come up with in court. It seems that we have the video footage on this man's phone. It looks like someone has attempted to delete this footage from his phone, but we have retrieved it.
It seems it took the police 3 minutes from entering KFC to arresting this man. So, let's have a look. We are going to show you this footage and then we are going to discuss this after, along with our closing submissions to the court.
How you doing, mate? Yeah, yeah. You what, sorry?
Have you been asked to leave?
No.
Oh, there's
Not
nothing there, so
that I know of.
Right, what you done?
That's my drink.
No, is that your blood?
Yeah.
What you done?
I've got a spot.
What's your name?
Right, we've got to take this outside, chap, okay?
Why? Are you arresting me for what?
I'm not arrested at this moment in time.
You've been in here an hour.
They don't want you in here.
Yeah, I've got a drink. Yeah, that's fine.
No,
That's fine.
Right, tell you what, my colleague's going to carry that. You're
What are you
coming outside.
arresting me? What
Not
for?
under arrest at
What
this
for?
moment in time.
What for?
Right.
What
They
am I
don't
doing?
want- they
What
don't
am I
want
doing
you
wrong?
inside,
What am I doing
so
wrong,
you've been
mate?
ejected. You're being caught. He's been ejected from a private
Yeah,
property.
okay, that's fair
okay?
enough. But why
What we're
though?
gonna do-
Why though, mate?
Antisocial
I've done
behaviour.
I've not done anything wrong,
You're
mate.
threatening, haven't you?
I'm just drinking drinks, man.
Okay, what we're going to do, stand you there. Stand right there. My colleagues look right.
Okay.
Stand right.
No,
Right.
there's no
Stand
issues.
still. Stand
I'm
still.
not doing anything wrong.
Give my colleague your details.
What's your
No,
name?
I'm not.
What's your name? Will
Why
you
would
get
I give
nicked?
me?
You give
Are
details or
you
get nicked?
asking me?
Listen,
Yes.
listen.
Let's remember in time, okay?
By law, yeah.
Listen to me.
By law, yeah.
Listen to me.
You
Right.
on what act?
Stand still,
What act?
stand still.
What act?
Stop shouting at me. I'll answer you.
What
Right.
act are you
You're
asking
drunk.
me to do?
You are
that?
drunk.
No, I'm not.
You're okay. You are.
No,
You're in a
what
public.
act?
Okay.
What act are
Under
you?
common
are
law,
you saying that?
okay, you're
Common
drunk.
law.
And
Common
if you
law.
continue, you're going to get arrested for drunk and disorderly.
I'm not doing nothing wrong,
Okay,
mate.
so-
This is all live, mate.
Okay, that's
So,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. You're drunk.
No, I'm
okay,
not.
you are. You're absolutely plastered, mate.
What's your name?
Okay.
I don't have
Give
to
your
be in
details.
it.
You do.
Or you're going to get arrested.
By law.
We'll just arrest you for drunk and disorderly.
Well, that's up to you, innit?
Well, because we're on an issue with a section 35.
That's up to you.
Do you want? Right. Do you want to go home tonight?
Look.
Do you want to?
in
spend
the
the-
nicest
do you
way,
want
yeah?
to spend the night in bed? You're in your own
What
bed tonight.
act are you arresting me for?
I'm not arresting you right now.
Are you detaining me?
You're being detained. Yes.
For what act?
Right. What
What
act?
law? What law?
A section 5 public order offence. Okay. That's
Okay.
what.
Look,
Listen to
listen
me.
me. Look,
Okay.
So
we've kicked you out of there, yeah? We're trying to work with you, yeah? And we're
no,
just
no.
going to send you home. All we need to have is your
Please,
name.
please,
Yeah?
don't touch me, man.
Yeah, you understand why we dragged you out of KFC?
No,
It's because
what
you can't
law-
sit in there.
what law you
The staff
got?
asked you to leave and you refused
What
to leave.
law or
And you've been
act?
aggressive with them.
Section
Okay.
5.
Apparently, yeah, but
Yeah.
I already know, mate.
Yeah. We've
I
just
already
told
know
you
if
the
you
specific
arrest
law.
me,
All we need, no, we're not trying
the
to arrest
simple-
you.
the simple
we're telling
fact
you
is, yeah,
that if you tell us your name,
You
we
do-
can
have
send
you
you on
got?
your
No,
way.
I don't have to give you my name.
Right, then we're going to arrest you
Then
for
you will be
section 5.
arrested.
Okay, that's up
Is that
to you.
what you want? You want
That's
to be
up to you.
arrested
Or do you want-
rather
oh,
than
drink
give your
this
name?
all.
Well, that's
Whatever
up
you
to you.
want.
I don't have
We
to
want to
do
issue
that.
with this.
I don't have to do that. I don't have to do
You're
that.
not giving us your name for
I
it.
don't
Listen,
have to
I'm
give you the
reading
law.
it.
Okay, alright.
Listen.
Take your phone off here, thank you. Okay,
Get the fuck off my
Under arrest, drunk and disorderly. Do not have to say, David, mind me, friends. If you do not mention one question, come to me later on in court, okay?
I'll be.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
As you will see at the start of the video, KFC rang the police on this man because of the following. He's been there over an hour. She asked him to leave and he started recording her. You will see in the video that the man still had a drink. You will also see in the video that the police questioned the man regarding the nosebleeds he was suffering. KFC have sold him a meal and then put a time restriction on how long the man can be there. KFC have asked this man to leave when he hasn't finished his meal drink. KFC have not offered a refund to this man for this drink. This man needed to be close to the toilet for his nosebleed and this is why he was at this restaurant for over an hour. KFC have no time limit to how long a man should take to finish his meal. They also have no time limit on how long a paying customer can stay at their establishment. KFC have wasted police time and they are also refusing this man his right to access the CCTV footage at KFC.
This is not disorderly behavior from this man and this is merely a civil matter.
3 police officers have surrounded this man. 2 male police officers are not wearing masks nor are they keeping the 2-meter distance. You will see that it looks like one of the men is actually carrying a mask but isn't using it. On the news we are being told to wear masks and keep our distance or the virus will kill us. Also, members of the public are being sent to jail for breathing/coughing on the police. These police officers might be exempt from wearing masks but they are not exempt from getting in this man's personal space and potentially passing the deadly virus on to this man. In our eyes this is attempted murder.
The police deny our allegations of attempted murder. Maybe this is because they do not believe the virus is real. This man is now feeling threatened, distressed, and alarmed from these officers. He believes they are without due care and attention, attempting to murder him.
The police have asked this man to leave. He has picked up his drink and said, "Yes, that's fine," and was ready to walk out of the building. The police decided that the man's actions weren't good enough. They took his drink of him, detained him, and forcefully removed him from the property. This man wasn't refusing to leave. The police have decided to use unnecessary force to remove this man from the property, which is deemed as battery. The police have also gone on to potentially give this man the deadly virus. The police were not wearing a mask or keeping the 2-meter distance. The police have unnecessarily embarrassed this man.
We are saying the police have assaulted this man in the form of battery.
The police detained this man in KFC and forcefully removed him from the building due to alleged antisocial behavior. They therefore went on to change their minds and detain him under drunk and disorderly. He was detained, so if he attempted to leave, he would have been arrested. The police went on to threaten this man and say if he doesn't give his details to the police, they would arrest him. We are saying this is assault. This man has not committed any crimes and therefore he is not required to give his details. This man would never give the police his information anyways. This is solely due to the fact that they use these details to commit criminal activity on the man. So, it's now the 11th of May 2021 and we have not received any evidence from the police or anyone else. What a surprise, right?
So here goes, our man is going to turn up to the magistrate's court, where he has been summoned, and say the following.
I, BK Corruption, from No Fixed Abode, plead as follows.
Not guilty.
I am a victim of police abuse. The police have abused me in the form of battery and assault. Falsely imprisoned me, and breached COVID-19.
I will never give the police my details as they have used this information in the past to commit criminal activity against me. They have also breached the Data Protection Act on several occasions, which I have evidence of. My information is not safe with these criminals.
I have not received the information I have requested from the police. I am therefore not accepting any evidence from the police on the day. They have promised this information prior to summons date and have again lied and refused my right to a fair trial.
My plea is based on the evidence submitted in this video. If you wish to use any other evidence outside this video, then I wish you to reschedule this summons date so I have 30 days from receiving all information to prepare my trial as per my human rights.
These are my submissions to the courts. I now wish to remain silent for the remainder of this hearing. I will not accept any ambushed evidence or questions, and by doing so will interfere with my human rights.
Due to the refusal of free legal representation, I wish this video to be used as my right to be heard. Put forward my side of the case.
No matter what the outcome is, I am requesting my right to an explanation of how the court or decision-making authority reached its decision. I am requesting this in a form of a letter.
I believe you need to decide if this case is in the public's interest. The government believe everything the police do wrong is not in the interest of the public. So, guys, this is everything we have sent to the courts in the form of a video for this summons date. We are now going to prove that they have received this.
Dear sirs, our client has a summons date mentioned on the subject line. You will see below that the police have refused to provide evidence prior to this summons date, despite agreeing they would. It seems that all the police we speak to are pathological liars. My client has been refused legal aid for this alleged crime. My client is therefore providing evidence as a video link. His right to be heard as per his human rights equals https://youtube.be/vogxyodmbis. Everything our client would like to say is in the above link and explained in detail. Can you please pass this video on to the judges and the team that will be dealing with this alleged crime? We are attempting to try and prevent any wastage of taxpayers' money. Please ask the judges to watch this before bringing my client into the courtroom. My client's plea will be not guilty. This court case is on the May 13th, 2021, so please pass on straight away. We have delayed this as much as possible as we have been waiting for evidence from the police as per below. Any problems, please get in touch.
We forwarded this email to the courts again. Dear sirs, please acknowledge my email.
And on the May 17th, 2021, we passed this information on to CPS as requested. Dear CPS, below as requested in hearing. You will also see below the police allegedly passed our request on to CPS and it seems you deliberately breached this man's human rights. Would you like to comment? No comment will be an admission of guilt. Please acknowledge our email.
What a fucking surprise, both CPS and the courts ignored all emails.
So, guys, I am now here, 30 minutes early, so I will have a look around. Strange but true fact. It seems that the magistrates' courts is all about women, as you can see from these two wall pieces. It's a good job I'm only up against the police and not against a woman in court, as I would be fucked. As you will see in later videos and the family court videos. Both the magistrates and family courts are sexist pigs when it comes to favoriting women. You get a higher standard of service within the Crown Court in complex civil claims. These are generally run by male judges.
So, let's go in. Staff was polite, no issues. Went to see what I believe is the court's usher and booked myself in. She asked for a plea. I said I'm pleading not guilty and I do not have a solicitor.
Waited till 10 past 11, went back to the court usher. Asked her if I can have my court papers. She said no, then walked off. 10 minutes later she turns up with some court papers. It's surprising that you should have to ask for them, especially after them knowing I do not have legal representation.
I received my court papers, gave them a quick read and copied them on phone. Then I went inside. I must have had my papers 10 minutes.
Inside we cannot record, but the layout was similar to most courts, apart from the CPS was on live chat on a TV, and some old lady was on another TV, no one introduced her. There was one duty solicitor behind me, nothing to do with my case, one man on the left which I believe was another usher, and lastly, I believe one legal advisor.
First thing they ask is turn your phone off. If it goes off you might be in contempt of court. Why are you pleading not guilty?
I have provided video evidence to why I am pleading not guilty.
The procedure is you have to tell us why you're pleading not guilty.
Again, this has been provided on video to the courts. Am I not allowed to voice my reasons on video?
No, why are you pleading not guilty?
I was not drunk and disorderly. I'm also denying Simon Lacey's statement. Is he going to be here on this trial date? It's a civil matter. Simon Lacey grabbed me, forced me outside, and then he demanded my address. I have not committed any crimes. I do not give my details to police officers, especially when they unlawfully enter my house through windows without a warrant.
I know nothing about that.
I'm explaining the reasons why I do not give the police my data. I have not committed a crime.
This crime is nothing about giving your data to police, it's about you being drunk and disorderly.
The reason Simon Lacey arrested me was because I refused to give my details. But I do not need to worry about this. I have it all on video.
CPS say within Simon Lacey's statement the staff asked me to leave, I was refusing to leave, and I was intimating them with my camera.
Filming the staff is not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter. If it's deemed as intimidation, then they shouldn't have CCTV in the first place. I have it all on video. It was a rapid response. Within 3 minutes of the police turning up, they was throwing me in the back of the van. Also, Simon Lacey on my video footage was saying I was threatening people, but he's not mentioned this on his statement. So, is he now changing his mind?
Are you saying you wasn't drunk?
I'm not saying anything. I'm going not guilty.
You need to tell us today why you are not guilty.
I've already explained, it's on video which you have.
Are you intending to give evidence at trial?
Yes, in the form of a video.
You're going to have to produce that video.
I've already produced it to the courts, you have it. I sent it 2 days ago in the form of a link, and I've explained why I'm pleading not guilty.
Can you explain to me why you're not pleading guilty?
Like I've said, it's in the video, and I've been refused legal aid for a solicitor.
You can get a solicitor with your own money.
Yes, that's if you have the money. So yes, it's basically a refusal of my human rights. Talking about human rights. I have been chasing the police for these court papers for 2 weeks, which was promised by the police. I received the papers 10 minutes before the court hearing. I knew you would just ambush me again.
You didn't need to come in now, we can wait till you have read them.
It's still deemed as ambushing, as I have not had a reasonable amount of time to prepare my case on this evidence. I also have no solicitor, and as part of my human rights, I am entitled to a fair hearing and trial. But the way I see it, Simon Lacey's statement is false.
Would you like the officer here?
Yes, please. That's the bold-headed guy, right?
I don't know.
I believe this is the bold-headed guy. There was a few police there, none of them had a mask on. I felt intimidated, I felt threatened by them as they were all close to me without a mask on. Actually, there was a woman police officer there who has a mask on. The only guy I had an issue with is the guy that arrested me, Simon Lacey. He had no mask on, but he had a mask visible. Then he's grabbed hold of me, pulled me outside, bashed me to the van, kept pushing me and grabbing me, like he wanted to play with me or something. I put my hand up to say stop doing it, but he tried grabbing my hands too. I'm saying it's a civil matter that's escalated because of Simon Lacey's abuse. Abuse of power.
Was you interviewed?
No.
Was you alcohol tested?
No.
Did the police have their video footage on?
Yes, they all had video footage on. It's on my camera. They didn't tell me it was recording as per policy, but I told them I will be requesting it, which I have done. Also, as per Simon Lacey's statement, intimidation with a camera is a public order offense. Will you be arresting all police officers wearing a body camera?
Okay, we will request police body cameras from the police for the trial. Are you requesting unlawful arrest as well?
I don't know what you class as unlawful. The problem is, when I speak to the police come through my window without a warrant and they say that's a lawful entry. I'm unsure what the law is compared to what the police work to. The law and the police law are two different things really. I'm saying it's excessive force, battery, and assault, false imprisonment and others. He said give me your details or you're getting nicked. I've also requested CCTV from KFC so we will see what the truth is. I've asked for a statement from the lady at KFC too. Let's see if that happens.
Two things I have to tell you. One, if you plead guilty today you will get a reduction in your sentence, and the other you will get a reduction in costs. So, if you plead guilty today it is £85. If you go to trial and you convicted it's £625 court fees plus costs. If you do not attend the date of the trial then the trial will go ahead in your absence.
Can I just submit video evidence and not turn up?
No, you have to be there. Have you seen your previous convictions and cautions?
Yes, I've seen all that, but why would they be on here and given to the court? Why would cautions from 2007 be on there? Are the police trying to mislead the court?
These won't be available to the bench or on the day of trial.
What will they see?
They will see the reasons why I'm pleading not guilty and the evidence.
I'm claiming assault, battery, and breach of COVID-19.
They are a separate matter and you need to make a complaint.
I will do, but they will be in the video anyways, so that's fine.
They won't be dealing with that in trial.
It will be explained why things escalated.
Do you accept your list of convictions is accurate?
Yes, but they are spent.
So, the facts are, you weren't drunk and you weren't disorderly.
For me to be found guilty of drunk and disorderly, you have to find me drunk and disorderly, not just drunk.
Yes.
I'm not commenting to the drunk as previously mentioned. They go through the points again. I say I know what Simon Lacey says, but what he says on his statement and what actually happens is two different things. He had his body camera on, so that's fine, you will see it.
Are you sure they had the body cameras on?
Yes, I know he did, they all did. CPS agree that my evidence and the police's body cameras can be used as evidence. CPS also asked me to email my video link. The courts agreed that they would give me legal aid to cross-examine Simon Lacey. This was because I made a point that I do not feel comfortable cross-examining Simon Lacey, and I have no money for a solicitor. They also said if I want to summons the lady from KFC to court, I need to let the CPS and courts know and how long this evidence will be. I already have a data protection request for the CCTV from the police, and until I get this information then I cannot prepare my case fairly. I also asked if I can prove that Simon Lacey lied in court. Will you find him in contempt of court? They said maybe. Unsure. So, it seems that the Justice Center, Magistrates Court, have a policy that breaches my human rights to remain silent. It seems we was also wrong about having a trial for this charge. Trial date is set on the August 16, 2021. It also seems the only evidence CPS wish to rely on is Simon Lacey's MG11 statement. This is the officer that abused me. You have to wonder, why didn't KFC want to provide a statement? If I have actually committed a crime, then why not get KFC to provide evidence? Maybe it's because the police's statement would never tally up to what actually happened? I never committed a crime. But luckily for us, we have his statement. Let's have a look. Let's see how many lies are within his statement.
I am a police constable, Simon Lacey 2514, with Nottinghamshire Police, and I am currently based at Central Police Station. At 10 p.m. on Friday, April 23, 21, I was on duty in full uniform and on mobile patrol as part of the nighttime economy patrols when I heard a call over the radio requesting officers attend KFC on Milton Street following staff pressing their personal attack alarm. Information relayed to me over the radio informed me that people were on the premises refusing to leave. There were also reports that they were being aggressive to staff and were throwing food at them.
Lie 1, Simon Lacey was not in full uniform. As you can see, he was not wearing any headwear. Nottingham Police 4.6.1 states police issue headwear will be worn at all times outside police buildings, unless in immediate pursuit of an offender, traveling in a vehicle or other extenuating circumstances. This is further supported by the fact that Simon Lacey should be wearing headwear as he is seen posing for Nottingham Post around the September 27, 2020, demonstrating that he is in fact wearing his headwear. Maybe the police's policy is that you only wear this headwear when the newspapers would like a picture. Simon Lacey was in fact correct when he states he would have had reports of people, not one person, but people on the premises. As you will see in these pictures, 2 other men were talking to me whilst I was at my table. You will see I am the cameraman and these 2 other men are clearly visible. I cannot make comments on their behavior, but I can confirm I was not involved in any criminal or antisocial behavior.
Upon arrival, we found that there was only one male in the premises who was causing staff problems. They informed me that they were only allowed to provide a takeout service and the male had been in the premises for over an hour refusing to leave, being abusive to staff, throwing food and intimidating staff by filming them with his mobile phone camera.
Lie 2, let's listen to it again. Upon arrival, the staff did not mention anything regarding anyone being abusive to staff or throwing food, and they also did not use the word intimidating them with a camera. These are the dirty words of a corrupt police officer named Simon Lacey 2514.
Staff pointed out a male stood over to one side. I walked up to the male and asked him to walk outside with me.
Lie 3, as you will see I was already talking to police officers and this police officer rudely come up to me undermining the other police officers and said,
"We've got to take this outside, chap. We've got to take this outside, chap. We've got to take this outside, chap. We've got to take this outside, chap."
Fuck knows what this lying cop is on about. He never asked me to walk outside with him.
The male was obviously drunk, he was swaying on his feet, he smelled of intoxicating liquor, his eyes were glazed and his voice was slurred.
Lie 4, again as you will see before this rude police officer interrupted me, the police have already established that this man has in fact suffered a nosebleed, both his mask and KFC's tissues were covered in blood. Having a massive amount of blood loss can result in symptoms similar to seeming like someone was, obviously drunk. Simon Lacey is only a police officer and a bad one at that, he is not an expert and therefore this must only be his opinion and not obviously.
He said to me, "What? What? What for?" I replied, "The staff have asked you to leave and you're being ejected for antisocial behavior."
Lie 5, what was actually said was,
Are you arresting me for what?
I'm not arrested at this moment in time.
You've been in here an hour.
They don't want you in here.
Yeah, I've got a drink. Yeah, that's fine,
No,
that's
no,
fine.
no. Right, tell you what, my colleague's going to carry that.
"What are you arresting me for?" You see, Simon Lacey never said these quoted words.
The male resisted leaving and had to be physically escorted by me out of the store, with him arguing with me all of the way. Once outside the premises, I placed the male next to my vehicle and asked him to stand there whilst my colleague, PC1560 Clark, asked him for his details.
Yeah, I've got a drink. Yeah, that's fine,
No,
that's
no,
fine.
no. Right, tell you what, my colleague's going to carry that. You're
What are you
coming
arresting
outside.
me? What
Not
for?
arrested
What
at this
for?
moment in time.
What for?
Right.
What
They
am I
don't
doing-
want- they
what
don't
am I
want
doing
you
wrong?
inside,
What am I doing
so
wrong,
you're being
mate?
ejected. You're being caught. He's being ejected from a private.
Yeah,
property,
okay, that's fair
okay?
enough, but why
What we're
then?
gonna do-
Why then, mate?
Antisocial
I've done
behaviour.
I've not done anything wrong,
You're
mate.
threatening, haven't you?
I'm just drinking drinks, man.
Okay, what we're going to do, stand you there.
Lie 6, as already shown and explained. I did not resist anything, I said yes, that's fine, yes, that's fine, but Simon Lacey decided that wasn't good enough and decided to assault me in the form of battery. Lie 7, Simon Lacey forcefully removed me from the building and then pushed me onto the side of the van. I was detained as soon as Simon Lacey grabbed me from inside the building, It's his duty of care to make sure I am safe whilst being detained by him, but Simon Lacey carried on abusing me whilst being detained by him. CCTV to follow. Lie 8. I was not arguing with Simon Lacey. I was asking why this police officer was assaulting me. Simon Lacey was explaining to me why he was assaulting me, whilst he was assaulting me. He said due to antisocial behavior and I've been threatening, haven't you? Again, the staff did not say that. Lie 9. PC 1560 Clark did not ask me for my details. PC Simon Lacey 2514 ordered me to give PC 1560 Clark my details and I said no, I'm not. PC 1560 Clark threatened me with arrest. I do not have to give my details.
There's no
Stand
issues.
still. Stand
I'm
still.
not doing anything wrong.
Give my colleague your details.
What's your
No,
name?
I'm not.
What's your name? Well,
Why
you
would
get
I
me.
give
You
me?
give me
Are
details,
you?
or
Are
get
you?
me.
The male replied, "Why are you asking me?"
Lie 10. I did not say this. If you put something in quotation marks then it needs to be correct. I actually refused as I have done nothing wrong and he has not provided me any section of the law that requires me to provide my details.
When I tried to answer his questions, he started shouting in my face, "Under what act? What act?"
Lie 11. I was not in his face, and if I was, it was because Simon Lacey had me pinned to the police van assaulting me. It was Simon Lacey that was assaulting me and was being too close. It was also Simon Lacey who was requesting my details unlawfully.
I warned the male about shouting at me and tried to explain to him that he was drunk in a public place and that there had been a report of antisocial behavior for which he had been identified as the offender, and as such I require his details in order to progress my investigation and to deal with him effectively.
Lie 12. No antisocial behavior was identified, maybe civil trespass and recording in public. Both of these are not criminal charges and are civil at the worst. The police must give you the section of law they are referring to when they are requesting your details or detaining you. None of this was given as Simon Lacey is unsure of the law. It eventually came clear that Simon Lacey wanted to give this man a Section 35 disperse notice. These notices do not require the details of the suspect.
The male would not let me finish speaking to him and constantly spoke over me, saying things like, "I'm not drunk, under what power, under what act?" I warned the male that he was being drunk and disorderly in a public place and that if he continued with his behavior then I would have no choice but to arrest him for being drunk and disorderly. The male continued to deny being drunk and refused to answer any of my questions.
Lie 13. He never asked any questions. He was ordering me to give him my details and he was telling me that I was drunk. These are not questions. But also, I do not have to answer questions. Lie 14. He never warned me that I was being drunk and disorderly. He was ordering my details under a section of law that doesn't require my details and he arrested me for refusing to give my details. He couldn't make his mind up to what he was going to arrest me for, which explains that he was unsure of what crime he suspects me of committing.
Both myself and my colleagues tried numerous times to explain to the male that because he had been involved in antisocial behavior, he was obliged to provide us with his details. However, the male continued to shout over what we were saying, repeatedly shouting, "Under what law, under what act?" At 22:10 hours I said to the male, "I am arresting you for being drunk and disorderly in a public place."
Lie 15. I was not involved in antisocial behavior, and if the police cannot provide the section of law that requires my details, then I do not have to provide my details. The police also need reasonable suspicion. Taking the word of a female against the male is discrimination by sex. Also, it interferes with my human rights, innocent till proven guilty. Lie 16. I was not obliged to give you my details under Section 35. This is an unlawful request which was repeated by the police. Like I said, I do not need to explain the law to you. Lie 17. He arrested me for being drunk and disorderly, but it was actually because I refused his unlawful demand.
As I placed my hands on the male he shouted, "Get the fuck off me."
Lie 18. I actually said get the fuck off my phone, and this is because you were assaulting me.
Off you, thank you. Okay,
Get the fuck off me.
This resulted in the male being handcuffed to the rear. After caution there was no reply.
Lie 19. I did make a reply. I actually told them I will be requesting their body worn camera footage. Again, Simon Lacey trying to justify his abuse to the courts to why he unlawfully handcuffed the man. You can see from the CCTV that this man was no danger to anyone, and it was actually the police that was abusing him from start to finish.
everyone can decide me. Do not have to say anything. Don't be fine with your friends. If you do not mention one question, come to me later on in court. Okay?
I'll be.
We then escorted the male to Bridewell custody, where he was identified as my name and date of birth. Once in custody, the male continued to be uncooperative with the custody staff and was taken to his cell.
Light 20, I gave them my details as per legal requirement and asked to be taken to my cell as I do not have to answer any questions. PC Simon Lacey calls me uncooperative, but what he means is his unlawful abuse damaged my back and arms and I was in great pain. We will show this once we receive video footage as requested. But the only reason that Simon Lacey arrested me is because he wanted to unlawfully obtain my details. So, as you will see on the witness statement, Simon Lacey has signed this statement to say the following.
This statement, consists of 2 pages each signed by me, is true to the best of my knowledge and belief, and I make it knowing that, if it is tendered in evidence, I shall be liable to prosecution if I have willfully stated in it anything I know to be false, or do not believe to be true.
This statement was signed within 30 minutes of arresting me. Simon Lacey was recording on his body worn camera. If he was unsure of any events that only happened less than 30 minutes before, he could have rewatched the video evidence.
This is the only evidence the police are relying on for prosecution, and this evidence has been tendered to be used in court.
There is no doubt in our minds that Simon Lacey has deliberately attempted to mislead the courts, with 20+ errors, all proven to be incorrect from the video evidence. All these errors are attempts to justify Simon Lacey's unlawful behavior.
There is no doubt in our minds that the police believed they had destroyed this camera footage.
There is no doubt in our minds that Simon Lacey is attempting a malicious prosecution on this man.
If this man was found to be guilty of this crime, then it's very likely he would lose his job and his licenses to trade.
So, if Simon Lacey wants to attempt to destroy this man's career, then we will have his.
We have already been given a legal aid solicitor to cross-examine Simon Lacey. We are unsure how well they will perform. We will speak to the solicitor firm and tell them we want them to push and succeed in getting Simon Lacey prosecuted in court for perverting the course of justice. If they refuse, we will go and find a barrister that is happy to do this.
Next point, we have on several occasions attempted to report crime to the police. These reports have been refused by Detective Sergeant 3160 Wakas Sheik, because of the following reasons here.
In summary,
a crime is only a crime if the victim reports it.
No crime will be reported unless the victim or their representative reports this crime.
You can be a physical witness to the crime, but the victim still needs to report the crime.
Reporting a crime is not just telling a police officer about something. The crime needs to be reported and a witness statement needs to be completed before any crime is investigated.
It seems here that Simon Lacey and his gang have breached this policy. There was no victim statement within the court papers and there was no physical witness to these alleged crime.
You see, the police have already assumed this man is guilty with no evidence, or without being a physical witness to this alleged crime.
The police have made up allegations about the man, hasn't called them allegations, and found this man guilty before trial.
Without a victim statement or a physical witness statement, there is no crime.
So, we will have to assume that Detective Sergeant 3160 Wakas Sheik is lying to the public when he states that this policy is the law on crime. If he isn't lying, then Nottinghamshire Police and CPS are breaching this law to pervert the course of justice.
It's either this detective is lying, or the Nottinghamshire Police and CPS are corrupt. Let them decide it between themselves to who is the most corrupt.
But either way, this further supports that this was in fact a malicious prosecution.
Naturally, we do not believe the police because to us, if a person is seen doing crime with video evidence, this should be enough to prosecute the criminal. We investigated more and this is what IOPC have said.
Today.
I've just got a quick question. I've seen some disturbing stuff on internet regards some police. I just want to report to them, but they're saying we can't do it because we've just watched it. We're not actually there.
Yeah, so under the terms of the Police Reform Act, someone who is making a formal complaint needs to be directly affected in that they needed to be present or making a complaint on behalf of someone who was present or directly affected by the incident. So if you are watching online,
yeah,
it doesn't constitute being directly affected under the terms of this process.
Right, so you couldn't get even so the person, even if they've been sprayed in the eyes at a 2 metre distance, that person would have to make a complaint for anyone to do anything.
They could make a complaint, or someone who is working on their behalf for them, a family member or a legal representative, could make a complaint. Do you know the person who was involved in
No, but there's a few cases you see, and the issue I've got is a lot of the time these guys will not make complaints, but if it's gone online and everyone can see it, then and they're banged to rights, then surely the police officer needs to be dealt with.
So most of the time, people will make a complaint, or if something has been flagged up as something that needs to be mandatorily referred to the IOPC, then that would enter into the process as a mandatory referral anyway. So it's very difficult if you're not connected to that person in any way. The chances are that they could have made their own complaint or got someone else to do that for them.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen straight away as well. Some people will leave it a little bit and then contact us, or it's actually the professional standards department of the force that will have to register formally most complaints. So we would wait for them to do that. And
but you do
more than
know,
likely, if there has been a big public outcry,
yeah,
the person will be in touch anyway.
you do know a lot of these guys or individuals get victimised and they won't actually report it anyway.
Yeah, but more than likely, some people who are known, will act on their behalf. It's happened in the past where people that are wanting to act on their behalf will do that for them.
That know them. So a company cannot do that at all, and a company cannot even direct it to the police.
A what? Sorry, a company.
Yeah.
A company in respect of what? Sorry, so
Like
is it
any of
illegal?
these journalists or anything like that, they can't just send it to the police as a complaint.
They can. They can, by all means, they can send the complaint to the police. But if the police identify that the person is not related to this person, is not acting on their behalf, and was not present at the time of the incident, then they would just shut it down, and they would be within the rights to shut it down as well, because our guidance to the police force dictates that the complainant, under the terms of the Police Reform Act, needs to be either present, directly affected, or working on their behalf, working on the alleged victim or the injured party's behalf.
Okay, so a police officer can just boot you in the head, but as long as, if that guy hasn't reported it, and we've got video evidence to show he's booted him in the head, you can't do anything about it.
I didn't say that.
No, this is what I'm asking. I'm wondering what the steps are around that, if possible.
Yeah, I didn't say that. But like I said, if there has been a big public outcry and it's in the interest of the public for a complaint to be referred to the IOPC, then it would be referred to the IOPC. But for someone to be a complainant, technically, they need to be, like I said before, they need to be actually present.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's got to be frustrating sometimes, hasn't it?
Oh, it's massively frustrating to us as well. We when there are these large incidents and things go viral and things like that, we receive hundreds of emails from people that are not eligible to make complaints. And it's great if we could have dealt with it differently, but we have to work within the confines of the Act. So we have to process things accordingly,
But wouldn't you expect
it's not
then,
great to give people false hope either. We need to be honest with people.
Wouldn't you just expect the police, if they've seen it, to deal with it themselves as well? Haven't they got the law in place that they have to deal with crime when they see it?
Sometimes they do. So if something, like I said, if something meets our referral criteria, it needs to be referred by law. They would refer it to us.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if there's, so if someone died in police custody, they're not going to wait for the person to make a complaint. That would just be an automatic referral to us.
Yeah, that's too late by then, isn't it?
It's a death or serious injury.
Yeah, it's too late by then, isn't it? It's already done.
But that's what I'm saying. If something happens that meets the referral criteria, they don't wait for a complainant. They just refer it to us.
Yeah, and who's they? Do you mean it goes straight from the police to you?
It's the professional standards of the police.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just go straight. Okay, thanks for your time. Very helpful.
Okay. No problem. All right, thanks for your call.
I'm going to give it a bash anyway, see what they say.
Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in raising the complaint, but we need to be honest with you and say, you know, you're not a complainant. So the chances are the response won't be that they're going to take it any further. It will be that they're not going to do anything with it.
What would their argument be? Saying, "Oh, the victim enjoyed it. They wanted it. They deserved it."
I'm not saying that.
No, do you get what I mean? Though, so what's the other end around it? It's like, well, if someone's actually just done that because he hasn't complained, does that mean he's actually wanted it? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't get it.
I'm certainly not in a position to comment on that or say anything on their behalf.
That's, okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right.
Bye bye.
Cool. Bye bye.
It seems the police are correct, but what the police actually do is put the most corrupt detective sergeant on the case to investigate these crimes. He denies all crimes. They go to IOPC tell them to re-investigate. The police have no time limit for re-investigation. This brings any summary crimes out of time for prosecution.
Yeah, I've sent a letter in to you guys before, and you've upheld a few of my complaints, you see, but the problem I've got now is the police seem to be ignoring your request for them to investigate.
So is it regarding an upheld appeal that we've asked them to re-investigate?
Yes, it should be. Well, that's the understanding that I got from that, you see, and this was back in August last year, but they haven't done anything about it. They wouldn't anyway, but the problem is, have you got any powers to enforce them to do anything or not?
So if we have upheld their appeal and asked them to re-investigate, then they will have to do that. Have you got a reference number at all so I can just look into it further?
No, I'm afraid I haven't, but can you find it by my name or not?
Yeah, I'll just take some further details from you. So can I take your postcode, please? Received a letter last year, and part of your complaint has been upheld, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and we've come back to them and said that it does need to be investigated. You've not heard anything since then?
No, you see, this is a problem I've had. I've had 3 years worth of abuse from him. You see, they've attempted to climb through a window, maliciously put reports on my police report to stop me seeing my child and stuff like this. You see, and they just clearly just say that's the law and they can do that, but I don't think it is.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously we have asked them to re-investigate that, and if they've not got back to you yet, then I can send them an email and ask them to look into that as soon as possible.
Okay, so what would happen if they didn't, or have they got a time limit? Because the problem is, it's getting up to the 4 years, and I might want to start legal proceedings, see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there isn't anything in statutory guidance as such that limits a time on re-investigations. Obviously, that would be your decision if you wanted to go ahead with legal proceedings. But in terms of what the IOPC can do after we've upheld your review, we would just email them and ask them to look into this ASAP. And obviously.
So they could take 20 years if they wanted.
I mean, it's difficult for me to say. Obviously, they wouldn't take 20 years. There is quite big backlogs at the moment in certain forces. And I appreciate, obviously, it's 3 years. But in terms of when we uphold the review, it was September. So obviously, I mean, I still know it's a long time from September, but
no, I
would
understand.
like to think you get something soon.
I understand, right, but I've already...
So, knowing what we know, it sounds like the police want us to expose this behavior online. Hoping that it will go viral so someone will take it seriously and investigate the criminal behavior we have already asked the police to investigate. Well, here it is.
Next, we are going to look at the CCTV outside KFC. This is going to explain things a bit more.
Battery 1, Lacey dragged him outside. Battery 2, Lacey pushed him to van. Battery 3, Lacey forced his arm down. Battery 4, other officer touching him. Battery 5, female Clark unnecessarily caressing his arm, sexual assault. Battery 6, female Clark dragging him back to van. Battery 7, Lacey touching his chest. Battery 8, Lacey touching him again and keeping arm there. Battery 9, other officer touching him again. Battery 10, female officer touching him again, several times. Battery 11, Lacey grabbing him. Battery 12 to 15, all officers assaulting him, unlawful handcuffs as no crime committed. Battery 16, Lacey pushing his face, twice.
You will see on Lacey's statement that he said after caution no reply. The disturbing thing is, why has Lacey pushed this man in the face twice after being handcuffed?
Battery 17, unlawful search.
You will see this female is touching him up again. There is 3 male officers there. Why does this lady need to feel the need to touch this man? Is it 'cause she thinks he's drunk and she can take advantage?
It seems the police always blame the male for any sexual conduct. I suppose this man will get blamed for her sexual assault. Battery 18, Lacey pushing him in back.
And you wonder why the man raised his voice. If it was me, they would have got a slap and a nice knee to the balls.
Next step, the government always say put a complaint in about a crime about a police officer, but we are aware that putting complaints in is just another way to pervert the course of justice and ignore the crime, or deal with it after the 6-month period, so the police officer evades criminal proceedings. A crime is a crime, no matter who does it, so I've reported Simon Lacey online, this way I get a submission reference.
So, the report consists of the following.
What happened: assault, battery, breach of COVID-19, false imprisonment, contempt of court, malicious prosecution, and later perjury.
Details of man: 50-year-old PC Simon Lacey 2514, from where he lives, the number of children he has and his wife's name.
They ask if I feel targeted and I say yes.
They have the video linked to the evidence that I have submitted to the justice system and CPS.
This was submitted on the May 24, 21. For the police to prosecute this man for his crimes, they have to summons him to court no later than September 20, 21. Currently, as of August 5, 21, I have had no response from the police.
That's my doorbell, let's go check the post.
CPS have sent me a letter, let's see what it says. It seems as of the June 23, 21. R. Williams has decided he wants to drop my case.
They have decided that there is not enough evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction.
Strange, right? 1 minute they are charging me and demanding I go to court on this charge. They believed they had enough evidence, and all of a sudden, they no longer have enough evidence to convict me for a crime I never did.
It is CPS that decide who goes to court or not. CPS have decided from the evidence Simon Lacey provided them in the witness statement, that this is enough evidence to prosecute me for a crime I have not committed. Then all of a sudden, it's no longer enough evidence.
What R. Williams is actually saying is, after watching my video, they have no chance for conviction, and the only person that will be convicted is Simon Lacey for perverting the course of justice.
Yet surprisingly, no apology. No, I've watched your video BK corruption and I am now going to prosecute Simon Lacey for perverting the course of justice?
Nope, none of that. You know CPS have strict licenses and procedures to follow. I'm sure within these rules and regulations they must deal with any wrongdoing along the way. Report and prosecute corrupt police officers.
Instead, R. Williams believes it's much more beneficial for him to close this case down and remove the evidence that PC Simon Lacey is corrupt and needs prosecuting.
By R. Williams turning a blind eye to this, proves that he is in fact perverting the course of justice himself.
But let's look on the bright side, it also strengthens my case that this was a malicious prosecution designed to abuse the public for not following Simon Lacey's unlawful orders.
It also states in this letter I have the right to apply for my costs in respect of these proceedings. We will look at doing this. We believe we can only claim limited money, but let's go get some advice.
I've just been to court regards a criminal case that I had against me, and they've decided to drop the case, you see, insufficient evidence.
Yeah.
After I've been to court on the first time. They're saying I can apply for costs. So I'm just wondering if that's something you can help with.
Did we represent you at court?
No one represented me, see,
Oh, right. No, it's not something you can get a solicitor to help you with. The only costs they can award are your out-of-pocket expenses, so anything you paid out for, so your travel to court.
Well, what I did is I provided them video evidence of my case, you see, because they refused any legal aid, which cost me around £600 for someone to do.
So you said that you had to pay £600 for what?
Video, you see. Someone submitted me a video to send to them with all the evidence on there to prove that I was not.
As far as I know, all you can claim is what you travel to and from court. You can't claim for anything else in your defence. The court will pay you back travel expenses.
And what about your day at work? Day then as well?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dreadful. It's a tax on the innocent. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't committed any offence, and you're out of pocket.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that's the way it is.
Well,
so that's it. I think the legal guy said it all. A tax on the innocent.
And the government call us criminals.
Next step, KFC. We have no interest in KFC, but we are going to summarize their behavior.
From the April 25, 21 to the June 29, 21 we have been trying to get this CCTV from them with no luck.
Due to CPS dropping their charges, KFC eventually agreed to sending us the outside CCTV only. We really didn't need the inside now, so we agreed. This information was received June 29, 2021.
KFC also sent us a picture of this victim arriving at KFC. They actually circled the time themselves before sending. This proves that this victim was only there 45 minutes and not the over 1 hour as the KFC staff member said to the police.
It's clear that this KFC staff member has lied to the police to make things sound worse and to abuse their customers.
But over 25 emails, a strong letter before claim to KFC and 2 phone calls, and we eventually got some evidence we could work with.
We asked KFC a few questions which they refused to answer. These are as follows.
We feel that if you do not provide us a statement/letter from KFC, we might have no other option than to summons her to court. We can do this, and any lies given under oath will be deemed as perjury. We will push for this if we have to.
We, at present, are not accusing KFC of any wrongdoing. It's the police making these allegations regarding KFC. We are just after your side of the story.
It has also been alleged that your staff members have pressed your panic alarms for immediate assistance from the police.
You are aware of the panic movement, right? It says photography is not a crime, so using this as an excuse to press a panic alarm to the police is deemed as wasting police time.
Panic alarms in organizations like KFC are there for immediate danger, robbery or threat to life. What has been alleged is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. Unless you now want to make much more serious allegations up?
We are trying to be as reasonable as possible, but a company like KFC should understand the meaning of public relations and good customer service. It seems you can't even be bothered to respond.
What is your policy on using a panic alarm to get police to your premises?
It's been alleged that you were only open for takeout only. However, we have evidence to prove this is not the case. You also had no clear signs demonstrating this. We went around KFC recently and still no signs. Would you deem this as a breach of COVID-19 regulations?
It's been alleged that our client had a nosebleed in your property, which is supported by police camera footage. It seems that your staff had no concerns regarding the safety of the public and she was more concerned about getting him kicked out and abused by the police.
If you do provide a statement, please make sure it's detailed with times on etc. so we can match our evidence to the statement KFC is providing.
How do we go about getting the recorded phone call your staff member made to the police regarding our client?
Also, it's been alleged by the police that your staff member made allegations that our client has made threats towards her.
Do you have any evidence to support this? Are you willing to comment on this matter or provide a letter? A no-comment response will be deemed as an admission of guilt and we would come to the conclusion that your staff member did in fact make these allegations.
We know our client didn't make any threats and we also know how much the police lie. If you make no comment response and the police records come through that she has in fact made these allegations, then you must understand that this could negatively impact KFC.
We received no response, but let's listen to this phone call. KFC's argument for not sending the inside is because the information I'm asking for is over £20,000. But all we are after is the 3 minutes outside and the 45 minutes inside. As you will see from the video, this victim was in the back corner. If no other customers were sitting in this property, then he would have very little pixelating to do. He would just be sat there on his own for 45 minutes. So maybe KFC has lied to the police again, but guess what, we would never know.
But it's prohibitively expensive, right? So the amount of stuff that you would ask for is over 20,000 quid. In which case we'll just take the fine, right?
But a good point this KFC member made. They would prefer to breach the Data Protection Act and take the fine than spend an alleged $20,000 on pixelating out customers that should not be there. This is a little smelly. They are clearly aware that ICO are a bag of shit and ICO will let them off. When in fact, deleting personal information is a criminal case, not a fine.
Let's move on to ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office. We are not going to say too much about the ICO at present, but as you can see, they are now deemed as shit. Later videos will demonstrate their behavior.
But after several emails to this company regarding the police ignoring both my subject access requests, ICO eventually sent Nottinghamshire Police a letter dated July 30th, 2021, which in summary stated,
2 requests have been submitted March 1st, 2021 and April 25th, 2021, which both requests have not been fulfilled.
The police have 28 days to contact me to let me know when to expect this information.
The rest is just a standard letter outlining the law and that the police are breaking the law by not complying with it.
That's my doorbell. Let's see who it is. Signed delivery for BK Corruption.
And here it is, a bundle of paperwork from Nottinghamshire Police which was received on the August 21st, 2021.
We are already a little pissed off because we deliberately requested this as a digital file. But let's have a look. Page 1. Sent via email only. It was only posted and never emailed. Starts to explain the background. The police also mention, firstly, I apologize that you feel that the service provided by Nottinghamshire Police has fallen short on this occasion.
Page 2. Outlines first request on 1st of March 2021. Shows that I have requested every little bit of data they hold on me from the first date to February 26, 2021. Also states the reason why I am requesting it. I am requesting all my personal data as per above. The previous data you might have sent me is incorrect and I ask for a full updated version of all my data as per above.
The police confirm that they have received this request on the March 1, 2021, despite it being emailed February 26, 2021. They therefore go on to explain a response was sent on the April 9, 2021 advising that we were experiencing a high volume of requests and that a response would be delayed in this matter. I apologize for this delay and any inconvenience it may have caused you. We have prepared disclosure in respect of this matter which will be sent to you under separate cover. Please also see further below in respect of additional exemptions added to this request.
The letter received was a standard letter giving no time of expected delivery. This letter is no different to an acknowledgement email. You will see in the ICO letter that they ask the police to send an expected date of delivery. They also expect you to keep the person up to date and informed of the situation. Otherwise, like in this case, we end up going directly to ICO.
But we responded to the police on the same day and said the following. Dear police, we do not accept your reason as a reasonable excuse and we are requesting you deal with my request straight away and without fail. I am also reporting crime as below. We are unsure how you can receive our request in your department on the March 1st, 2021 when we emailed it directly to your data protection email on the February 26th, 2021. You acknowledged receipt on the February 26th, 2021, 6:06. The constant lies that come out of the police's mouths are astonishing. If you do not want to hold information on me then please don't, but when you do, I expect this information to be passed to me within reasonable time and as per the Data Protection Act.
So, you will see that the police are attempting to demonstrate that they have acted reasonable with their deliberate cover-ups, and their attempts to pretend they have acted lawfully, when in fact, they have ignored us from the 9th of April 2021 onwards.
Page 3. Shows everything requested in April 2021 regarding this case. Also shows that I have requested this to be supplied as a digital file. The police confirm they have received it on the April 27, 2021.
The police therefore go on to state the following. Our response to this request was sent to you on April 28, 21 which consisted of a full refusal under Schedule 2, Part 1, Paragraph 2 of the DPA as the investigation and criminal proceedings in question were still ongoing at that time. We invited you to resubmit your request at a later date once you had been advised that the proceedings were concluded. You were also advised that should disclosure be required for defense in the criminal proceedings, you should redirect your request through the CPS to receive the information via CPIA.
This information was never sent to me. We received the following on the April 27, 2021. A letter stating that they need my ID as this has not been disclosed, despite them having in just a month or two earlier. Clarify if it's required for court. If this is the case, we will need to apply disclosure through the CPS.
We were unsure if we wanted to use it for court, so we sent the ID in on the April 27, 2021 and waited. No response or information was received. The letter dated April 27, 21 did not mention anything about not being able to provide the information because of the current pending criminal investigation.
We later questioned this through ICO and the police sent us a Word document dated April 28, 2021 which states what they are referring to. But the police cannot provide us with evidence that they have actually sent this to me. It is a crime under Section 170 of the Data Protection Act to unlawfully obtain personal information. They requested my ID on the April 27, 2021 knowing that they would not fulfill my request.
The police therefore go on to say, therefore, I conclude in respect of request referenced 2790/21, a response was sent to you within the statutory time limit and consisted of a valid exemption under the DPA. The criminal proceedings in question were still ongoing at the time of the request and therefore we were entitled to withhold this information. We provided you with assistance in this matter by redirecting you to contact the CPS if the information was required for defense in criminal proceedings and that you could reapply under the subject access provisions once proceedings had concluded. The complaint in respect of this aspect is therefore considered unfounded.
So, whether or not they did send this letter is irrelevant. We have requested all this information as per our legal right under the Data Protection Act. We have explained why we wanted it. If they can hold on to this request is up to the police, but we do not have to re-request this information as they have mentioned. They can release this information once the investigation has been concluded, which was the June 23, 2021.
This request is not unfounded at all. 30 days from the June 23, 21 is the July 23, 21 and we received a response on the August 21, 21. This is again a breach of the Data Protection Act.
This information wasn't needed for criminal court but it is needed for civil court as the police officers abused me within the custody suite and we want the CCTV to prove this as requested.
Police keep CCTV for 30 days, why would we reapply for this after the 30 days? The evidence would have been destroyed. So, what this lady is saying is that we should reapply for this information after they have deleted it. Given them a lawful excuse to delete information relating to crime, perverting the course of justice.
The police therefore go on to say, given your recent complaint and that this matter has now concluded at court, I have concluded that we can now supply the requested information, and for your convenience, I have included it in my disclosure in respect of 1490/21.
Looking into this information, all they have sent me is some paperwork that will be shown in this video and Simon Lacey's body-worn camera footage. I have requested all CCTV as the police are aware, they have not sent this. They are either concealing this information or they have deleted it. Either way, the police have committed a crime under Section 173 of the Data Protection Act.
The police go on to explain, I have sent previous requests on August 22, 2019.
Page 5, the police supply a summary log. All these alleged fucking reports on my system. You have to wonder. I've never been charged or prosecuted for these allegations, but it's crazy how these fuckers don't call them alleged. Even one says violence against person. I have no fucking crimes regarding violence and I'm fucking innocent until proven guilty, you bellends.
Page 6, they state that I have also made another request on the April 5, 2020. They are trying to demonstrate to ICO that I am allegedly putting in malicious requests. This is followed by more logs. The police explain they have limited what they are sending because these are duplicates.
Then the most surprising thing is said. You would never guess it. I have been putting these subject access requests in because I knew the police was concealing information from me, unlawfully, and they have just fucking admitted it. It's highlighted in yellow and says,
please find attached copies of records located as a result of these searches. I must advise you that, as you are aware, you have been charged with an offense in respect of breaching a non-molestation order in 2019. This matter is still showing as an impending prosecution at this time, and therefore we are unable to provide disclosure of records in respect of this. As such, material is still being considered with regards to this investigation and is therefore exempt from disclosure under Schedule 2, Part 1, Paragraph 2 of the Act. 2.1. The listed GDPR provisions and Article 34, 1, and 4, of the GDPR, communication of personal data breach to the data subject, do not apply to personal data processed for any of the following purposes. A. The prevention or detection of crime. B. The apprehension or prosecution of offenders, or C. The assessment or collection of a tax or duty or an imposition of a similar nature. To the extent that the application of those provisions would be likely to prejudice any of the matters mentioned in paragraphs A, 2, C.
The police are now making up unfounded allegations that I have an impending prosecution for an alleged breach of a non-molestation order in 2019. It's now 2021, I know nothing about this. I was detained for 36 hours back then, sent to court, and CPS dropped their case because I was going to be found not guilty. But the cheeky bitch says in our own opinion and in brackets. As you are aware.
I am not aware of anything, but what I am now aware of, is that the police have been unlawfully concealing and blocking me from retrieving my personal information for 2 years. These requests put into the police was not malicious, and the police have been committing crime for 2 years under Section 173 of the Data Protection Act.
1 week later the police admit there is no such impending prosecution.
Page 7 states, in basic terms, information is exempt from disclosure where provision of that information could prejudice the police's ability to discharge their statutory functions in respect of preventing and detecting crime or in apprehending and prosecuting offenders. With regards to ongoing investigations, disclosure would not be permitted until the conclusion of such investigations and any subsequent criminal proceedings so as not to subjudicate those proceedings. I invite you to resubmit your request after a reasonable period has passed or at such time when you are notified that investigations are concluded. We will then endeavor to provide the information requested. Please be advised that if this information is required for defense in criminal proceedings, then either yourself or your legal representative will need to forward your request to the Crown Prosecution Service to facilitate disclosure. The BWV footage which is enclosed is written to a password-protected zip file and will require zip extraction, such as through WinZip or 7-Zip, both of which are freely available to download on the internet. You will also need to contact the information request team in order to obtain the relevant password. I trust that this now resolves your complaint. However, should you require any further assistance concerning this matter, please contact us by email, quoting the reference number above.
So how on earth would this lady think that her response would satisfy my request? Even an idiot would know a simple breach of a non-molestation order would not take 2 years to resolve. Also, not all information regarding this incident has been provided as per request. We did mention that we have requested all CCTV within the court hearing, but we did not order it for criminal investigation as we did not need it for criminal defense. However, we still want this information as we are entitled to it. They say forward requests to CPS, but as you can see, they just ignore us. We tried ringing this department for the password, the phone line just kept going to voicemail.
Next step. We reported Lee Hanfieldings for the crime of Section 173 of the Data Protection Act. The police treat all crimes relating to police staff as complaints. A crime isn't a fucking complaint, it's a crime. She's a woman, so no chance of them prosecuting her for this crime. Now we speak to ICO, it is ICO's job to uphold this act. We know they are shit, but let's give them one more chance. You will see in the police's letter that they said in ICO, unsure how they did this because they didn't even email me.
ICO said they never received the letter from the police, then they changed their mind after I explained to the police that they are lying about sending letter to ICO. ICO apologized to me.
After explaining the serious concerns that Nottinghamshire police are still, and have been, concealing my personal data for around 2 years, ICO decided not to uphold the law against the police and stated,
in this case we do not consider that it is appropriate or necessary to pursue further action with Nottinghamshire Police, and we have provided Nottinghamshire Police with advice regarding their wider information rights practices.
They also say that Nottinghamshire Police have provided a satisfactory response. Maybe Section 173 of the Data Protection Act is no longer a crime.
Just bullshit after bullshit with ICO, but let's listen to the phone call.
You responded, you saying they're not doing anything wrong?
No, that's not what I've said. I've just said that, unfortunately, at present, because we've already issued our advice, this isn't an instance where we would be able to take further enforcement action. So because we've already delivered our assessment and we've delivered our advice in sort of respect of how we would expect Nottinghamshire Police to respond to your specific request and their wider data protection practices, and we can see that they have sort of issued you with what we would deem as a satisfactory response, we wouldn't be able to take further action from that. So we did consider that actually in terms of the response to your initial subject access request, they did reply outside of statutory time frames. However, they've now sort of responded to that accordingly.
But they haven't, because they're concerning data still.
Yeah, I understand completely from your perspective, and I can appreciate that you still have concerns that haven't been addressed by Nottinghamshire Police. But from our point of view, they have sort of responded accordingly. They've issued you with a satisfactory response, so this would be something that you would have to sort of pursue independently now, I'm afraid.
But they've sent me data and not even passed me a password for it, so I don't understand. So what do you want me to? What do I have to do now? Argue with them because they're still concealing data?
So we wouldn't necessarily consider that is concealing data, and we don't actually have any evidence that they are concealing data, because we're an evidence-based data protection regulator. We wouldn't be able to sort of take any further action. So yes, it would be, unfortunately, the case where you would have to sort of resolve this with Nottinghamshire Police or pursue sort of action through the courts now.
Yeah, right, okay. So because I'm getting very confused with ICO, right? So you don't uphold the law of the Data Protection Act. You just see if they have acted reasonably within their quest. But if they are concealing data, you would not uphold that.
So we have certain powers. So in the first instance, we are concerned with sort of the wider data protection practices. So our sort of main goal really is to improve the wider data protection practices of organisations. So for example, if we're getting repeated complaints about a particular organisation and they're not sort of corresponding with us and sort of proactively working to improve their practices, then that's kind of an instance where we would more than likely get involved, whereas unfortunately that just doesn't really apply in this case.
But when they're committing crimes, especially an establishment that's meant to be upholding the law, would you not see that as a serious concern?
Well, that's not what I'm actually saying. I'm just saying that as far as we're concerned, we only have sort of limited resources, limited time, limited enforcement powers. We can't actually take further action in all cases. And you know, we have to sort of be selective, I'm afraid. And because we have considered that actually the organisation has sort of responded appropriately now, we've delivered our assessment, we've then delivered our advice in regards to the organisation, we've then delivered a second assessment. So we are satisfied now that they have treated the complaint accordingly, so it would be a case of pursuing this independently.
Yeah, but how can I pursue this legally when you're saying they're acting in accordance to the Data Protection Act, when I don't believe they are?
So you have a right to take this to court under the data protection legislation. So if you did take this to court, for example, obviously you would have to seek legal advice independently from the ICO because that's beyond our remit. But that would sort of be pursued and considered completely sort of separate from the ICO. So they can take our assessments on board, but our decisions aren't legally binding. They're just our assessment of a certain sort of set of evidence and information that's available to us at the time.
Yeah, I understand, but they will do, and they'll say you've said they've acted within the boundaries of the law, and I'm saying, well, no, they're still concerning data and falsifying documentation, but there's nothing more I can do, really, is there?
Well, we wouldn't be able to comment, unfortunately, because it would be beyond our remit now. It is something that you could pursue independently. As I said, if you did take this to court, for example, they would be able to consider our assessment, but they can make their own decision completely separate to ours, so they wouldn't have to sort of follow our assessment of the matter. They would make their own sort of minds up, determined by the evidence and information available.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm understanding ICO, really. It's probably better not to report stuff to you because it doesn't really get anywhere then.
Well, that's up to you, really.
I think that is what I'm particularly getting at, you see, because it has been a few occasions where there have been breaches, quite serious breaches as well, and you don't see them as serious as what the member of the public would do. And that's the
and I
problem.
can understand that. Obviously, it's had an effect on your life. I can completely appreciate that.
Well, I've had Kafkas bloody send me a 100-page document of 5 children 2 miles down the road from me, and you're telling me it's a crime if I don't delete it, rather than doing anything to them, you see.
I actually didn't tell you that. Sorry, I'm not sure if that's a different case that's worked on by it.
I'm referring to an ICO member, I'm referring to ICO in general, right? Do you know what I mean? Not you. You haven't told me that, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but do you understand? These quite serious cases, and Kafka's telling me they've never had a fine from you, they've never been punished by you, and they just carry on doing it. It's quite upsetting, you know what I mean? Because we believed that ICO is there to protect the public, and that's it. But it doesn't seem that's the case. It's unfortunate.
Well, I am sorry that you feel that way. Our main goal is to sort of improve the wider data protection practices of organisations. So there's a number of sort of criteria that has to be met before enforcement action can be taken.
Yeah. And I would take the view that if it was a normal normal company, that you give consent to your data, then that's the risk you take of someone concealing it or passing it on to someone else. But government don't ask for your data; they just take it. There's no consent there. And then they conceal it.
So under the general data protection legislation, there are actually a number of lawful bases for somebody to, for an organisation rather, to process data. So consent is actually only one of those. So particularly for organisations such as the police, it would be quite likely that they have other lawful bases that they're depending on in order to process that data. So it's more rare that it would be consent, to be honest.
No, I'm saying that nothing with the government is consent. See, this is the thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to comment on that, unfortunately.
Well, what I'm saying is other organisations have to usually get consent before they take data, you see. Where government, they do not need consent. Then they pass it round, they falsify it, then they get you in an issue where you can't do nothing about it because now they're concealing it. And that's the bottom line to it.
Yeah, I can appreciate your concerns, but that is beyond the remit of the ICO, I'm afraid. Sorry, so if you have those concerns, that would be something that you would have to pursue independently.
So when I want to report, which I have done to you, this crime regards concealing data, you say it's only you guys that can prosecute for that, and not the police, right?
Not from my understanding, no. It's something that you can pursue through the courts. You have a right to take this to court under the General Data Protection Regulations, so it is something that can be done independently. It just depends on sort of the case at hand. So, for example, in this case, it wouldn't be something where we could take enforcement action. So if you did want to, look for sort of a more personalised resolution, that is something you would have to take to court.
But why is ICO telling me in previous emails that it's only you guys that can prosecute for this concealment or falsification of data? This is what ICO have told me. This is why I pursue it this way.
I wouldn't be able to really comment on that, sorry, because I'm not sure who. Do you have a name of somebody that's told you that or anything?
I will have an email saying that.
Yeah.
Because they say it's only us that can prosecute for that act, that section of that act. That's what he or she said to me.
Yeah, well, yeah. I did attach in my previous email, there's a link to a our complaints procedure, which would sort of include filling out a form if you did want to raise a complaint. So if you do want to raise a complaint either about the handling of your complaint in general or about a particular staff member or staff members, that is something that you can do.
Yeah,
so you do have that option as well.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for your time anyway.
No problem. Thank you very much for your call.
Bye-bye.
We have had enough with this bullshit, so after a couple of emails with both ICO and the police, we sent an email to the police on the August 24th, 2021 saying, "Dear police, a letter before claim will be sent to you if these actions are not dealt with within 14 days. 1. Nottinghamshire police send me all my data from start to the date they do the request. Including every little bit of data they hold on me. Everything, please. I would like this in date order and organized. I would also like this on a digital file as previously requested. 2. I would like a list of information the police are attempting to conceal on me and the reasons why. But no information can be lawfully concealed because I have no pending crimes. 3. I would like confirming from Nottinghamshire police stating that they have provided all information requested and they are not concealing any data."
We also explained everything that is missing from the KFC request. We expect all this information by the September 7th, 2021, or we assume they are either refusing to provide this information or they have deleted it.
Next step, our client is telling us that the police have not been in contact with him regarding the report he made about Simon Lacey online. He also told us that other reports he has made to Nottinghamshire police have been ignored.
Fuck it, let's have a look. We are now going to report PC 1560 Clark. It's now the September 1st, 2021, and we have reported her as follows.
On the April 23rd, 2021, PC 1560 Clark assaulted me, battered me, and sexually assaulted me. Link here. I have also reported PC 2514 Simon Lacey months ago for serious crimes. As these are summary offenses, I expect you to prosecute both officers within the 6 months time frame. If not, anyone reading this or getting involved in this case will be guilty of perverting the course of justice.
We will get him to ring the police in a couple of days to see what's happening. Let's see if these crimes are being logged.
Next step, let's go look at the personal data they have sent him. I can imagine there is lies after lies on this file to justify their unlawful arrest and malicious prosecution.
We already have all the data protection breaches already mentioned in this video. It seems that we have a lot of information from Emily Fisk 9168, we will find out who she is later, but let's have a look.
Emily Fisk 9168 updated his file stating, "Caller from staff safe, panic alarm has been pressed. Group of youths are in the store being aggressive with staff and refusing to leave, also throwing things. Supposed to be takeaway only. Staff members are getting concerned."
As already mentioned, the group of youths was nothing to do with me. I am no longer deemed as a youth as I am a middle-aged man. This information has nothing to do with me and it doesn't involve me. This information does prove that I was not involved in the alleged crime, but it is also other people's personal data and not mine. This is a breach of the Data Protection Act 2018. It needs removing from my file.
What further supports this is a witness statement written by Sergeant Ross 1343 who describes me as 40 years old. A youth is someone up to the age of 29. I allegedly look 40 years old. Point 2. Emily Fisk 9168 updated his file to state, unknown male has been inside KFC over an hour, refused details, and too intoxicated to receive a Section 35 notice.
My name's Emily. I'm calling from Central Police Station in Nottingham City Centre.
Hi, Emily Fisk, 9168.
That's me, yeah.
Emily, I've just got a few questions. I was wondering if you can help me.
I'll try.
Do you know what a Section 35 is? Notice?
I do, sir, yes.
It's dispersal notice, right?
Yeah?
There is no requirement to give your details on a dispersal notice. Correct?
Right. Okay, go on. Where's this going?
So when you've updated my database to say the male is refusing details to receive a Section 35, I assume you've just wrote that from someone else's opinion.
What incident are you actually referring to?
I'm just referring to in general, you see, because I understand from my database that I've got here, you must have been in the control room adding things to my log. And you must have been doing it from a different PC. So would you not state which PC was telling you this?
So to clarify, were you involved in an incident?
Yeah, I've been involved in an incident. I just want a clarification. You clarified to me just a second ago.
So I can refer to the right incident. Is it one where you're arrested for drunk and disorderly?
Yes.
Right, okay. I wasn't the officer in charge, okay? I was the recording officer, and I recorded the incident on behalf of the officer in charge.
Yes, okay.
So if you want to speak to the officer in charge of the case, then you'd have to speak to PC Lacey.
No, I totally understand. What I'm going to say to you, though, is if you're updating the database and you know a Section 35 dispersal notice does not require the details, why would you update my database to say I'm refusing the details? I have no legal obligation to give you my details under Section 35.
I was given information by the officer in charge.
Yep.
Okay, and I've updated the log. Okay, and all I've done is I've created the incident on behalf of the officer in charge.
Yep.
Who would have been transporting you to custody at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would it not be put on there on who said what? Because this file has just been violated with your name, to be fair.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Well, it's all got your name on it, so as far as I'm concerned.
What file have you got?
I've just got my my police file, you see. Simon Lacey arrested me for refusing to give details on a Section 35.
Right, okay, that's the officer. I wasn't there at the scene, unfortunately.
But it's saying it's all you see, because it's all got your name on it, every single bit. So, as far as I'm concerned, when you're writing that down, you know that's wrong, because you've just admitted that Section 35 does not require details.
Didn't admit anything.
Oh, so you're not admitting that you're not admitting that you actually know.
Listen to me. I've explained to you.
Yeah.
I've explained to you that I created the occurrence on behalf of the officer in charge, and I've written down the information that I've been given.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how the occurrence has been created. If my name is written all over that, that's because I created the occurrence on behalf of PC Lacey.
Yes.
Okay.
I totally understand, but what I'm explaining to you...
If you want to discuss the matter further, you're going to have to discuss it with PC Lacey, who knows more about the incident than I do. I don't know the circumstances behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. All I know is that you'll have to speak to PC Lacey.
Yeah. No, I totally understand, but you've just said to me, you know, Section 35 does not require my details.
I never said that.
Oh, so you're saying you don't know that?
I didn't say that.
This is where I want to go with this.
Right. Okay. So What I'll do is I will pass your details on to PC Lacey. He should be back on shift tomorrow.
I do not want to speak to Lacey. I'm already dealing with Lacey. That's fine.
Okay, all right. If you want to take the matter further, then you can always speak to our sergeant.
I'm already dealing with Lacey. That's already getting dealt with. They're investigating Lacey. That's not a problem.
That's fine then.
But so you're not going to clarify that point for me?
Listen. I've told you, if you want to, I can't discuss anything about the case.
I'm not asking about
the
the case.
In charge.
I'm literally asking you if you know what Section 35 is and in that sense? This is what I'm asking. I'm not asking you about the case.
Section 35
Yes.
is obviously a direction to leave the city centre because you're causing harassment, alarm and distress to other members of the public. Okay, and to prevent further incidents in the city centre, we give people a direction to leave. Failing to provide your details to a uniform officer, yeah?
Right.
Okay. So what I'm saying is,
you're omitting that Section 35. You believe Section 35.
Listen, right. If you've got an issue with a Section 35 notice, then you're going to have to. Do you want me to go and find the inspector?
No, that's totally fine. Well, you're going to get a complaint from me anyway. But
okay, all right. Well, I'll wait for your complaint.
You just admitted you don't know the law. You just admitted that.
All right, sir.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
As already proven, it was 45 minutes and the reasons have already been explained. They have no evidence to prove that he was drunk and opinions do not form part of his personal data. The male doesn't have to provide details under Section 35. Unlawful act, and also this is a breach of the Data Protection Act. This file needs amending to reflect what actually happened.
This same information is repeated throughout the file and needs amending.
Point 3. Simon Lacey 2514 and his Sergeant 3457 Tiernan has signed off to state on his file the following. Male was arrested for being drunk and disorderly in a public place after being escorted off KFC's premises on Milton Street by police. The male had been in the takeaway for over an hour, refusing to leave, throwing food around and being abusive to staff. Once outside the premises, the male, who was heavily intoxicated, refused to engage with officers and would not provide them with his details. The male became argumentative with officers, resulting in his arrest for D&D. And repeated again in summary.
As already mentioned, this is all incorrect and is a breach of the Data Protection Act 2018.
Point 4. Susan Farron 3630 updated his file to state. Body-worn footage from PC 2514 Lacey, footage has been downloaded. It clearly shows how intoxicated BK Corruption was, as well as how uncooperative and argumentative he was with officers, leading to his arrest for drunk and disorderly.
We have also watched this footage and it shows exactly what we have already shown you. It shows the police abusing this man, as already explained. Being argumentative and uncooperative is not a crime. But their behavior is. Susan Farron 3630 is a corrupt police officer. Whilst in custody, they have made allegations as follows. Point 5. Refused to answer questions. They have mentioned these are questions. I have no obligation to answer questions, and by using this against me is an abuse of power.
Point 6. Police state I would refuse to answer risk assessment questions. However, I spoke about future plans to collect CCTV from Burger King to make a complaint against the arresting officers.
I have no obligation to answer police officers' questions, and using this against me is an abuse of power. I believe they meant KFC and not Burger King. Also, it's not a complaint I mentioned. I told them I will sue them. It's not a complaint they have done, they have committed crimes. Point 7. As you can see here, I have actually answered some risk assessment questions. It seems the police again have updated my personal file incorrectly. I answered no to, do you have any care issues that could cause concerns while in custody? I answered no because did not want the police making up allegations that I am a safety concern. They still made these allegations up anyways. I answered no to, do you have any religious/faith needs? I answered no because I did not want the police making up allegations that I'm a terrorist. I'm sure they have me down as a terrorist on one of their files. I told the police that I had a bad back from when I was arrested. As you can see on camera, this abuse damaged my back for around 8 weeks. I refused to talk to the police after this point.
3030J shape confirmed. I confirm this arrest necessary for the purpose of allow the prompt and effective investigation. Prevent person causing loss or damage to property. Prevent person causing physical injury.
What prompt and effective investigation are they referring to? The police did not interview me. Also, KFC did not make a complaint. No victim, no crime. So, what other reason did he have to confirm this arrest necessary? No victim, no crime, no allegation of damage to property, and I have just confirmed there is no care issues.
Point 9. 3030J sharp confirmed. Detention is authorized for the purpose of S37(3) PACE, secure/preserve evidence, S37(3) PACE, obtain evidence by question.
Let's look at this legislation. Section 3 states, if the custody officer has reasonable grounds for believing that the person's detention without being charged is necessary to secure or preserve evidence relating to an offense for which the person is under arrest or to obtain such evidence by questioning the person, he may authorize the person arrested to be kept in police detention. So, what reasonable grounds did he have? They did not question or interview me. There was no evidence to preserve or get. There were no victims. No victim, no crime. They also did not alcohol or drug test me. They just made up allegations that I was drunk. Being drunk is not a crime.
Point 10. 5629 Harvey has updated my database at 2332. Been to see DP as his body language suggested he was not well. I entered the cell to assist him, he then turned on me demanding a solicitor. I told him one had called and as soon as the call was returned, we would bring the phone. The DP phone became aggressive towards me, calling me many swear words.
You will see when I was booked in. I have explained I have a bad back due to police abuse. This was reported to the police around 10:10 p.m. It's now 23:32 and the police are refusing to get me any medical treatment and allowing me to speak to a solicitor who in turn will be able to report their conduct and get me medical treatment. To make things worse, it seems they have put markers on my file to say I self-harm. This is unfounded allegations and there is no evidence to support this. They later go on to confirm the following. Threats of suicide/harm. No details. Which one is it? You have put a marker on my file for self-harm but you have confirmed you have no details? It also seems they have put a violent when drunk marker on my file. This is unfounded allegations and there is no evidence to support this. I have never been charged with any crimes relating to violence and I am meant to be innocent till proven guilty. This also seems to be under medical, which clearly states, any physical or mental conditions. Are they now inventing a new medical or physical condition called violent when drunk? Throughout the night the police persistently made allegations up to why they would not provide me a solicitor or medical treatment. Starting from 22:52 p.m. all the way to 2:10 a.m. where they have confirmed they have provided me 2 drinks. It seems they checked on me every 10 minutes and confirmed they have turned off my intercom so I can no longer request a solicitor or medical treatment. They have confirmed I have been asking for a solicitor on several occasions. We will deal with this matter once the CCTV has been provided, if the CCTV will be provided. I strongly believe they have destroyed this evidence to pervert the course of justice. Look who it is. PC Simon Lacey. He was pleased to see me, knowing his corrupt case has been dropped. And the fact that he knows I put a complaint in. PC Simon Lacey wasn't a happy man. You see him walking towards me with a weapon in his hand. His fist clenched ready to smack me at his earliest available opportunity. Threatening to arrest me for made-up charges. If he wasn't so old and fat, he probably would have tried to chase me. Strangely, he's probably not aware that we have KFC footage of him abusing me. He is now aware that I'm starting legal action against him. He didn't like that. What we are going to show you after this video is more corruption from Simon Lacey to prove he deliberately done a malicious prosecution on me. Men like PC Simon Lacey are the reason why people hate the police so much. They think they are big and hard but they have no brains to go with it. If he had a brain, he might not be so easy to catch. This man seems to think it's okay abusing the public, but I bet you any money if someone gave him a bitch slap, he would cry to the police in attempt to get this member of the public prosecuted for assaulting an emergency worker.
Off here, thank you. Okay,
get the fuck off on foot.
Under arrest for drunk and disorderly. Do not have to say anything. Mind me, friends. If I do not mention one question, come to us later on in court. Okay?
Okay. That's up to you. That's up to you.
No, that was entirely up to you.
I'll be requesting that tomorrow.
Right.
What are you touching me for?
It's you under arrest, mate.
What for?
Drunk and disorderly. Bad. I'll just give him a quick pat down, will you?
You got anything sharp on you? No, you're not going to tell me, so I can cut my hand on it if you do.
2514 AH. Yeah, we've got 3-5 of this male for drunk and disorderly. Night in the cells. Foot up, mate.
Yeah, mate. I've seen cut.
Yeah, well, you won't. See you later. Night in the cells. Foot up, mate.
Yeah, mate. I've seen cut.
Yeah, well, you won't. See you later.
There you have it. Prove that even CPS had the body-worn evidence but still allow this abuser to walk the street under the name of the police. I clearly said, I will see you in court. PC Simon Lacey confirmed that I won't. PC Simon Lacey has confirmed that even though he arrested me, completed a MG11 statement, he had no intentions on going to court for this case. PC Simon Lacey was the only person giving a witness statement. PC Simon Lacey has confirmed he has done a malicious prosecution on this man. Let's get back to the Data Protection Act 2018. Several emails have gone back and forth from and to the Data Protection Department. Mainly Leanne Fieldings. We have started copying in Caroline Henry. On the September 21, 2021. Leanne Fieldings has confirmed that the CCTV has been deleted and so has PC Clark's body-worn footage.
Many thanks for your email below. Please understand that we are an extremely busy department and that I am not ignoring this request. I have not responded since my previous email sent to you last Wednesday as I have been working on your request and have not had an update to provide to you. I will address your request in full in due course. However, in terms of those parts highlighted in blue, I can provide the following. This CD only has Simon Lacey's body camera. I have requested all CCTV from start to finish including the custody CCTV. Along with all body cameras and all CCTV, van, custody, in my cell. Can you please let me know if you will be providing this or has it been deleted? The BWV which was disclosed is all that was located from our BWV system. It may be that other officers did not have their BWV activated at the time or that on uploading it they have marked it as non-evidential and it has therefore been subject to a 30-day retention period and deleted.
We responded. I requested this from you and I also requested this from CPS/courts. You refused this request and now you have deleted. I believe it is PC Clark that has deleted my phone evidence, yet you have deleted this evidence showing that PC Clark has committed a crime. You received the request. It's irrelevant if it's evidential as I requested it as per my legal right under the Data Protection Act and not for court. If it has been deleted, then this in itself is perverting the course of justice and a crime under the Data Protection Act. Please confirm it's been fully deleted?
In terms of CCTV from custody, this is only retained for 60 days and would likely have been deleted unless it has been downloaded from the system and saved for some reason. I will make inquiries on this and respond in due course.
I requested this from you as per my legal right under the Data Protection Act. You refused this request and now you might have deleted. If this has been deleted, then it is in fact perverting the course of justice and also a crime under the Data Protection Act. Please confirm you have deleted? It's crazy how the police think they can delete crime done in their custody and get away with it, and the Data Protection Department of the police are actually doing this.
We have already advised you as to the reasons why some parts of the information were not provided to you previously, that being that they were recorded as being under investigation or under proceedings at the time of your request.
Under Section 173 of the Data Protection Act, it is a crime to falsely document to refuse disclosure. This is what the police have done. I sent a few more emails from this date to October 13, 2021. All these emails have been ignored. Caroline Henry was CC'd in. She also ignored. Caroline Henry loves ignoring you but has a lot of time to spend going around kids' boxing training. It's now the January 16, 2022. The police have not only perverted the course of justice but they have also committed crimes under Section 173 of the Data Protection Act 2018. Their corruption is being deleted by the very same people who are meant to be upholding the law. Now, let's not forget the professional standards and the crime within this department. Waka's Sheikh DS3160 is someone we have labeled a perverter for a long time. He loves to pervert the course of justice. Let's prove it to you. They eventually responded to my online crimes regarding both police officers.
On the September 7, 2021 they state, "Thank you for your online form, the contents of which have been noted. I am sorry that you have felt the need to express your dissatisfaction about the service provided by Nottinghamshire Police. The Nottinghamshire Police Professional Standards Directorate, PSD, deals with complaints/conduct matters against police officers, staff, contractors, or the organization in general. Could you please complete the attached national complaint form, which will assist us to record your details correctly and contact you with your preferred method of contact. Contact by telephone is usually the most effective way for us deal with your complaint, so please provide us with a number to contact you on if this is appropriate for you. Please send your response to psd@nottinghamshire.pnn.police.uk. Once the national complaint form is received, then a complaint handling officer will then assess your complaint and will be in touch with you. If a reply is not received within 10 working days, then this matter will be closed without any further action. Many thanks. Kind regards. Waka Sheikh. Detective Sergeant 3160.
I see you now have evidence below to prove that I have reported these two police officers and they need prosecuting within the time frame mentioned on the online crime forms. You will also see a link to the video in the forms. Can you please refrain from asking us to complete additional forms that do not form part of the law and breach data protection laws? You have all my information as per the online forms, and you also have the link within the forms. I also have evidence that I have been reporting these crimes online and the police have not been processing them accordingly. Perverting the course of justice. If you need the link again, it's here equals this video. If you do require anything else that is not a duplicate of what I have already provided you, then please do ask.
I have read the contents of your online form and can see that details provided are insufficient. Your online complaint form states, PC 1560 Clark, assaulted me, battered me and sexual assaulted me. As per this link https://youtube.be/650rlwwkdm0 I have also reported PC 2514 Simon Lacey months ago for serious crimes. As these are summary offences, I expect you to prosecute both officers within the 6 months time frame. If not, anyone reading or getting involved in this will be guilty of perverting the course of justice. This is insufficient information for this department to look into your complaint. The YouTube video will be reviewed once a more detailed complaint account is received. With the above in mind, please complete the national complaint form as requested with the following details. 1. A more detailed account of your complaint against PC Clark. 2. A more detailed account of your complaint against PC Lacey. 3. What summary offences are you referring to? 4. What date and time did these incidents/offences happen? 5. Where did these incidents happen? 6. Do you have any incident/reference numbers? 7. What did the officers say/do or fail to do? Unless an appropriate response is sent in as requested above, I will be closing your complaint with no further action. I will not be responding to any emails till an appropriate response is received.
Dear Wakas, the video link explains it in great length for stupid police, as police seem to cover crimes up relating to the police. You have no excuses apart from avoiding to watch the evidence, doing your job. Please examine all evidence before contacting me. I will not be repeating myself again and again for you. If this is still insufficient evidence, then I can only assume you need sacking and taking back to school. The evidence is bang to rights, that these police officers have acted unlawfully. My team will complete the finishing touches, which will be provided to you, in video form, on the October 20th, 2021. This is when I make serious allegations that the whole of Nottinghamshire Police have been perverting the course of justice. Including yourself. And doing everything you can to stop these police officers getting a criminal record. Cheers, have a nice day. Caroline Henry, as you will see. Wakas is refusing to fully investigate these crimes and prefers to close the case down, despite all the evidence being in the video that I have provided him. I do not need to provide him any more information, but he seems to think I do. I can only be dealing with corrupt police officers. Anyone with half a brain would know to look into all the evidence provided before responding to me. FFS, please help. P.S. Wakas is also in this video. This case is not finished. This is the first step of Nottinghamshire Police's corruption on this incident. Wakas, thank you for confirming you have this information. You are now involved in this matter whether you like it or not.
It is not reasonable to expect a busy complaint handling team that serves the entire community of Nottinghamshire to attempt to glean the detail of your complaint through interrogation of a lengthy, 66-minute, YouTube video. You are welcome to make your complaint, and if you do so in the manner I have described earlier in these exchanges, I will ensure it is transparently and diligently investigated. Please submit your complaint with the requisite detail on the National Complaint Form. Your complaint will not be recorded or investigated otherwise. Please note that I will not be engaging further on this discussion. Thank you.
Dear Wakas, you have my full evidence regarding the crimes the police have done to me. I am not completing anything more unless you need an MG11 statement completing. Simon Lacey was reported back in May 2021, which I believe you have removed from my personal file and deleted. Also, the online crimes have not been processed on my personal file. Strange, right? Being busy is not a reasonable excuse to pervert the course of justice. But I can see your team have watched this video at least 10 times. So, you have actually watched it, so deal with it accordingly. I have already mentioned all my points, in detail, in the video. The details and times were also in both the online claims. I also went through it with someone on the phone. Stop making me repeat myself and please go arrest these officers. Please confirm you are refusing to deal with this matter? Dear Wakas, BK Corruption has already explained to you that this form breaches the Data Protection Act 2018 Section 170. You have made the attached fields compulsory. Most of these fields are not needed to report crime. This was mentioned to you on the June 23, 2021 at 10:26, which you responded to. You have therefore already been warned about this, and you carry on forcing the public to complete this form with the threat that you will pervert the course of justice if not completed. Allowing Simon Lacey to carry on abusing me, which he has been. You have been warned, but you carry on collecting this information unlawfully. You have, and carry on, breaching Section 170 of the Data Protection Act 2018. I am not reporting complaints at present. This will come later. I am currently reporting crimes which have been successfully reported to you. There you have it. Strangely, the Kingpin Craig Guilford wonders why members of the public like to kick the crap out of police officers. Well, let's leave you with that video.